This is one of the worst videos I've probably had to post over my entire YouTube career, and which I never thought I'd be making. Over the course of this week, there has been a creator who has been exposed for being a pedophile, as well as doing things such as speaking to minors younger than him. This is utterly one of the grossest situations I've ever had to cover. So if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stick to the end as there is a lot to uncover today. So, as I mentioned, there's a ton of content to go over, such as messages from the victims of this content creator, as well as going over the story of how it all happened. But either way, let's just get straight into it. First of all, if you don't know, recently this week there has been major Gorilla Tag drama, specifically surrounded around this creator named GoldMan-VR. This situation first surfaced on TikTok, and if you try to search up his name on TikTok, well, unfortunately you can't, due to the fact he deactivated his account prior to the allegations. Speaking of allegations, well, what exactly did he do? Well, if you haven't been notified about the drama over the course of this week, well, there has been a lot of allegations to go over, such as the fact he had 25 victims towards what he did. This is larger than what most pedophiles or perverts would get called out for, but 25 victims is an absolutely appalling amount. I presume that all 25 of these victims would have different stories, but towards a lot of them, there was claims about the fact he would constantly lie about his age. He could say to one person he was 16 and say he was 12 to another person. He claims that he was doing this all for a joke, but deep down it seems like he somewhat knew this wasn't a joke, and that he had to blame it on hypersexuality to free himself from what he was actually doing. There was also claims towards the fact he would seem to make everything sexual, and with this screenshot provided, we can see that he would possibly guilt trip his victims into with him on call or listen to them doing it, then use threats of suicide if they didn't comply, specifically with what he wanted his victims to do. There has been other things which were surfaced, such as the fact he posted an apology video, but due to the fact he privated and deactivated his account, we no longer know if this video exists or if it's actually true. However, there were some other things that he didn't admit, such as being racist by typing the N-word over Discord or text messages, and it was claimed he used to post explicit content, in Discord servers, as well as cheese pizza, if you understand what I mean. It was claimed he did many more horrible things too, which are horribly shocking, such as the fact he did inappropriate things to several of his victims' photos in a way I can simple it down. He said it was the best of his life towards what he was doing with his photos, and all he could do to own up to it was apologize. But we all know one simple apology is never enough. It is clear enough that this man has been sexually harassing a lot of his victims, and it's just honestly vile. Drifting away from Gorilla Tag, it was also claimed that in games such as VR chat, he tends to wear more sexual avatars to fulfill his disgusting desires. It is horrible to see a Gorilla Tag content creator, person who posts content for typically an audience of children, to be blinded by such horrible desires, which led him to commit literal crimes to his victims that he could essentially get arrested for. Provided with screenshots earlier, we can see that Goldman has crafted himself into an awful person, not to mention the fact he tried to manipulate his victims into cheating with their current partners in real life, which is overall just a horrible thing to do, not just towards their partners, but towards themselves too. We can actually see by searching his name onto YouTube that Goldman does indeed have a YouTube channel. Despite the fact I mentioned earlier about him having an apology video, it didn't seem to be on his YouTube account. So, where was it? Due to the fact he deactivated his TikTok account, yet kept his YouTube up, it could be seen that Goldman is trying to hide the truth away from his fans on YouTube, as if he is covering up his previous mistakes, despite the fact that everyone on TikTok knows what he's done, and the fact that the truth was revealed days ago. It seems he could think he can cover up what he's done by switching platforms, but people have even gone to his YouTube calling him names such as Gold Gooner, and just flaming his name for being such a horrible human being. Despite the fact I've covered many claims about Goldman and his horrible ways, however, these are only allegations, but the things you're going to hear from one of the victims will be 100% real. Right guys, new recording area. Who have we got today?
My name is Mel, and I do TikTok, and I was one of Goldman's best friends.
So Mel, I've got a bunch of questions today because there's been a huge situation, I'm sure you know, about this guy named GoldMan-VR. Just to get it started, first question, just to confirm, is there 25 victims in this drama that's gone on?
Now that we're speaking, we have figured out there's now 26. We recently just confirmed another one.
I don't get how you can have 26 victims. That is horrible. Anyways, for the second question, how are you related to Goldman in this drama?
In this drama, I have two parts. Okay, so I'm a victim, and I am sort of a helper getting more info about the victims. Essentially,
just like pick up information, if that makes sense, yes, not to be rude.
I pick up information and I give it to this guy named Phantoms. Some people that lied about the situation, so he confirms, he makes sure all the stuff is true. Like, so there needs to be very clear evidence that you are a victim to Goldman.
Well, for my third question, obviously I've talked about it a little bit in my video so far, but considering you probably know more, what has Goldman exactly done?
For the sake of YouTube, I can't really like explain exactly what he did, but he's 16 years old and he lied about his age to most people. He told me he was 13, he told others he was 14, 15, etc. He would make inappropriate jokes to people who are clearly younger than him and find no wrong in doing so. He's done really inappropriate actions in Gorilla Tag, VR Chat, etc. Just so much inappropriate actions to people. And he's tried to quote-unquote touch people in places that are not like physically allowed in your life to be touched in.
Yeah.
People are currently thinking of trying to start a full-on case about GoldMan, like police-wise.
So Mel, for the fourth question, I believe it is, where is GoldMan now? He's just suddenly disappeared off of TikTok. Do you know exactly where he is now?
Well, actually, no, I confirmed thing where he is. As we know, he deactivated his TikTok account and he just stopped everything after even though he said he could own up to his backlash on his apology video, he just full-on deactivated his account even though he said he could handle it. But he is now on VR Chat. He's been going on VR Chat daily. Did an event called Fun Talkers today that people really didn't want him to do, but he did it anyways. He was caught in a cuddle room on VR Chat, which is
oh man,
full-on red flag. And this was recently. This was like maybe a day ago, maybe last night.
Oh my days, that is just shocking. Anyways, Mel, so moving on from that one, the fifth question, what did GoldMan exactly do to you? Because obviously you're one of the 26 victims now. What did he do to you?
There's two things that happened. The first time, it was me, GoldMan, and his best friend at the time, Neela. We were all in that code, like, sitting on the wardrobe in forest, or stump. And I was sitting there, I told him I had a blue ring pop, and he said, like, oh, I have something you could suck on. And genuinely, I laughed at it. But then he was like, I'm being serious. I never got off at all, but the second time, yeah, so we were in a code. It was code in BG, like normal in there, and I joined him off the front thing because I had him on the front thing at the time.
Yeah.
So then he wanted to bring me in a private code, so I went in private code with him, and we were just talking, and then yeah, no normal stuff that you would talk about with your friend, and then he just randomly says he made a comment about my voice, and then he just said, "Oh yeah, you're on my list."
Does it start with an R? Yeah. Yeah, oh Jesus, I am sorry for you. Aside from that, because I know you might be a little bit uncomfortable right now, is there anything you'd like to say before the end of the interview?
Don't be like GoldMan, like, remember there's always digital footprint. Never do stuff like that, ever. That's horrible. No one should go through that, including I shouldn't go through that, nor should anybody, ever.
So after what I mentioned earlier, as well as interviewing Mel, there's a ton of things to sum up this video. First of all, let me clarify that GoldMan is not innocent and should be looked down upon, and that his actions should not be forgiven due to the fact he has been sexually explicit to all of his victims. And even more, such as being racist and homophobic. It's unsure if he will fully quit or if he'll try and seek forgiveness to try and make an attempt to return to content creation, prior to the fact his YouTube account is still up. And overall, this situation just shows how one bad choice can take you down a horrible path. So what do you think about this situation? Comment it down below. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as I'm hopefully trying to hit 100k before the end of 2025. Please also don't forget to join the Discord server too, with the link in the description. Anywho, thank you all for watching this far, and if you made it to the end of the video, well, I appreciate that so much. I hope you all have an awesome day or night, and I will see you all in the next Gorilla Tag video.
And GoldMan, I'm 100% sure you're watching this because you still have your YouTube account up in case you're about to take it down. You're disgusting, you're a weirdo, and you need to work on yourself as a person.